Today, I did a challenge where I had to beat the first 6 FNAF games in under 6 hours. I did it in under 5. But that's not the point. The point of this video is I want to remake my tier list, or rather, explain it. I recently did a tier list on one of my recent live streams of the FNAF games, and playing all 6 of the original FNAF games in succession, which I've never done before, by the way, in that amount of time, it kind of changes your opinion on things just a little bit. My opinions remain mostly the same, but some things have changed, and I want to touch upon that based off of this challenge. It really kind of puts things into perspective. This is going to be a simple, unedited, just like talking video, so don't expect anything funny or interesting to happen in this. It's just going to be me describing this tier list in a little more detail than usual. So let's get started. To start out, we have Five Nights at Freddy's 1, which for like 9 years, I would have put this in peak. It is the first. It's the most iconic, and I think it has the best game design in terms of the atmosphere. The jump scares are the best in any game, I think. Especially Bonnie and Chica's jump scares. They're perfect. They're amazing. They're great. They're ridiculously good. No other jump scare looks like that in the games. I don't know what Scott did with those two, but it's perfect. I always loved the FNAF 1 animatronics. They're really iconic. They started everything, and we all know how the game goes. It's fun. It's unique. It started the whole genre of that type of horror that hadn't been done before. Lovable characters, fun gameplay, unique gameplay. It grabbed the attention of everybody, and that's what makes it so special. Playing this for 10 years straight, the pacing compared to the rest of the games, it feels very slow. And that's purely because of how much I've played it over the years. And compared to the other games, like especially FNAF 2 and 3, FNAF 2 and 4, those two games are just like rapid fast, like cosmically fast. And then the first game, it feels kind of slow. And that's purely because of how much we've played the fast-paced games. It's not at all a actual problem with the game. It's not a fault of the game. It's just what happens over time. But I can't say enough. I can't praise enough how well this game is designed. Not only mechanically, but if you look at the way the game sits, it's completely different from the other ones. It's got a tone that hasn't been replicated yet. It's got a certain type of shadow to it. Like the shadows in the rooms are different than the other games. It's hard to explain. It's very well made. The lighting, the shadows, the models of the characters, the design of the pizzeria, it's really good. And also, specifically, like the camera angles that were chosen for the animatronics are really good. Gameplay-wise, it's not the most amazing. Of course, it was innovative and it's great. But I'm gonna have to put this in, well, great. Just not peak. Playing FNAF 2 directly after FNAF 1 felt really good. FNAF 2 is my favorite of the original 6. And there's something special about it. It's probably, I've said this 1,000 times, but it's probably because of my extreme bias towards it. I became a fan in like 2014, and I think this game was the first one that I actually got to experience come out as a fan. So I got to anticipate its release. I don't think I played it right upon release though, because I was waiting for the mobile ports. I actually don't know if the mobile port came out on the same day as it came out on Steam. I'm not too sure. But I think this was the first game I anticipated playing as a like new FNAF fan. We were all new at that point. I mean, like the second game came out the same year as the first one. But it's the sound, it's the design, it's the look of the whole thing. Specifically, I like to point out the sound. The sound in this game, it hits very hard. It's very nostalgic for me. It brings me right back to childhood. I feel like a kid again playing this game. There's nothing slow about this game. It is perfectly paced all throughout the entire thing. There are like 11 animatronics to deal with. The puppet isn't counted as one. In like the custom night mode. So when you see 1020 mode, it's technically 1120 mode because of the puppet. But yeah. I love this game. It's like I don't have a single bad thing to say about it. I know a lot of people have some judgments, which is valid, but to me, there's nothing wrong with it. The animatronics are all legendary. The only one I don't love is Toy Bonnie. I even like Balloon Boy. I don't like Toy Bonnie. I'm sorry. In the movie, he's cool, but in the games, I'm just not a fan. I don't know. But I love Toy Chica, and don't say anything about that. We're being serious in this video, but I love Toy Chica a lot. She's the coolest one in my opinion. And of course, the Wizards, all of them are peak. All of them. Especially Withered Freddy. He's awesome. The designs are great. The jump scares aren't as good. I think, although, arguably, Withered Foxy has the most iconic jump scare in the entire series. But the rest of them, I'm not a huge fan of how they are. I think the jump scares are probably the weakest part of the game, and not because they're bad. It's just because FNAF 1 had such great jump scares, it's hard to make jump scares as good as that. But yeah, I'm going to put this in peak. It's great. It's awesome. It's amazing. It's perfect in my opinion. I can do these first two games deathless because of how much I've played them. So playing these two in succession, it was really interesting to see the shift from 1 to 2. It was very interesting. The pace, immediately, when you start out, it's also faster. The nights are faster, which I like. I'm not a fan of the 9-minute nights in the first game. It's, again, purely because we're used to fast-paced nights now, which is fine. That's how the game should... that's how it should go. It should get faster, and you should get more skilled as you go along. But yeah, I'm a big fan. I love it. It's great. But yeah, the sound is beautiful. FNAF 3. Now, this was probably the most interesting shift. The first two games have a very specific type of feel. While they're both very different to each other, they both feel they have a similar vibe in the way that they're designed. However, FNAF 3 is entirely different. The shift from the first two to FNAF 3, it was like a flashbang, but it was really good, and I love this game a lot. I think the mechanic of Springtrap, the whole thing, the whole shebang, is probably the most interesting mechanic in all of the games. The way Springtrap works is he's the only animatronic who can kill you in this game, and that seems like it would be a cakewalk. Because, like, we went from 10 animatronics, or 11, rather, if we're not counting Golden Freddy, then 10. I'll just say 10. I don't know. I don't know. But yeah. We went from 10 animatronics trying to kill you to 1. That seems like it should be extremely easy, but it's not. That's because William Afton's incredibly dangerous. He's incredibly smart. When he died in the Springtrap suit, he didn't really die. A part of him survived. That's a reference to something. I'm sure y'all guys will know what that means. But Springtrap's design and the mechanic design is really interesting because you have to lure him as far away from you as possible, but be careful because the rooms you lure him in could have a vent attached to it. So what I like to do is to lure him, I think it's cam 9. It's not the furthest from you, it's the second furthest. That's because the furthest one, there's a vent attached to it. The second furthest, there's also a vent attached to it, but I have better luck with that one for some reason. So what I do is I get Springtrap in that camera, and then I go to the vent and immediately close it. Because inevitably, he's going to try to go in there, and when he does, he's blocked immediately. So that's instantly, I know where he is at all times, and I can go worry about something else. I don't have to have the camera up to waste camera usage. I don't have to do an audio lure to waste audio lure. I can do whatever I need to do. And then when he gets back, he makes a sound. And sometimes he can slip really far somehow. And it's because of his hallucination mechanic. You can hallucinate 2 Springtraps, and by the time you realize you're hallucinating one of them, it's usually too late. If you lose track of him for 2 seconds, he can end up in your office in that amount of time. And at that point, you don't know where he is. You're panicking. He could be anywhere. He could be on this side. He could be on this side. He could be peeking over the door. But the hardest part about that is when he's near your office, the hardest part is getting him away. If you can do that, if you can lure him all the way from your office back up, that's awesome. You have yourself pretty much set, especially if you're late game or late night. And that mechanic itself is really interesting, having to deal with a smart, cunning human rather than an animatronic, which is mainly still just animatronic code. You know, the kids aren't very smart. I mean, most of them have been left behind, and it's just the rage consuming the animatronics, but they don't have full control. Springtrap has full control over his mind, but not full control over his body. Sometimes when you use the audio lures, he won't go, and that's annoying. And when that happens, especially if you're on late nights, like night 5, when you have like 2 audio lures, that can get really annoying. Like really annoying, really fast. But it's interesting. It's like you have to play mind games with him. I find that really interesting. Having to play mind games with William Afton is a super cool concept to me. And also, I haven't even talked about the game, like, actual aesthetic yet. The aesthetic is amazing. The green, it was a no-brainer. I mean, Springtrap is green, the whole thing is green, it's amazing. Fazbear Frights as a concept is interesting too. It's not a pizzeria location, it's just like some freelance horror attraction, which it looks really cool. It looks like it kind of brings back the classic FNAF 1 vibe a little bit with the way it's designed, I think. And I like the Phantoms a lot. I think the Phantoms are underrated. They look really cool. I think Phantom Chica looks really good, but just imagine if it was Phantom Wither Chica. That would be terrifying. I think they should do that for the FNAF 3 movie, but that's a whole different video. But I think, Phantom Freddy is the coolest one. He looks awesome. I like the Phantom animatronic jump scares. I think they're really good. I actually think they're better than the FNAF 2 jump scares even. The Phantom ones. Sometimes they can really get you. Like, if you're not expecting Foxy to be there, if you're frantically... Here's the thing. If you are losing Springtrap, and he's getting away from you, and you have no audio lure and no camera, you're gonna frantically move over to your reboot system to fix those, to make sure you don't lose track of him for good. Sometimes, when you're frantically moving, you're not gonna look for Foxy, and inevitably, he's gonna jump scare you. That's a good jump scare. Same thing with Balloon Boy. Balloon Boy can come up really unexpectedly, and if you're not quick enough, he can get you. And it's a really great jump scare. The easiest one to avoid, though, is Shadow Freddy for sure. Sorry, Phantom Freddy for sure. I wish his jump scare was a bit more common, but it's really easy to avoid it. And the puppet jump scare is horrible. I didn't see Mangle one time during this whole run tonight. So that was interesting. I kind of forgot she existed in this game. I would have liked for Mangle to have more of an appearance. I almost came across Chica, had I, like, left the camera, but I only got jump scared by Foxy and Balloon Boy, tonight. I would have loved for them to have made the Phantoms a little more accessible, because most of them, well, actually, half of them are exclusive to a singular camera angle, and that sucks in my opinion. You're rarely ever going to have to go to Mangle's camera. If you keep Springtrap in the optimal route, you're never going to go to that camera. Hence, you're never going to see Mangle. The puppet appears in one camera, and while Springtrap can go to that route, it's rare to see the puppet there, because if you know Springtrap went to that room, you're never going to find the puppet because Springtrap's there instead. And Chica, you rarely have to go to that arcade room. If you keep Springtrap on the optimal route, you're never going to go there. So, like, 3 of the Phantoms are eliminated. So, that being a big part of the game, it's not going to make it peak for me. It's going to make it great. Hello, my mouse. Anyway, I like it more than FNAF 1, for sure. Next up is FNAF 4. Now, I have a very weird relationship with this game. For 10 years, I couldn't beat it. It got in my head, and it gave me anxiety, and I couldn't beat it. Not because I wasn't skilled enough, but because I literally couldn't sit through the nights. You know, when I was playing this game originally on Xbox, bad idea, by the way, don't do that. Play it on PC, or if you have headphones, attach it to your Xbox. I was playing this game, and I didn't make it past night 2 for 10 years. And originally, it wasn't on the Xbox, by the way. I mean, the Xbox port came way later, but I started replaying it on Xbox, and I never got to beat it, ever, in my life. Not on mobile, not on anything. And when I saw the animatronics down the hall, it would scare me. It genuinely would. Whenever I went to show a light on the door in the hallway, I would do this. I would brace for impact because I was scared. And for whatever reason, it just scared me. I don't know, it was scary. I guess I always kind of had problems with that as a kid. That type of, like, fear, you know. But recently, I was like, what am I doing? It's not even scary. It's all in my head. So then I just stopped being scared of it, and I started playing it, and I beat it on stream for the first time a couple of days ago. And now I can play it. Now, tonight, when I did my run-through, I didn't die until night 5. And that's because I kind of forgot a little bit how Fredbear worked. Just a tad. Just don't judge me. Don't judge me. I hadn't gotten to Fredbear ever until a couple of days ago on my stream. If you guys were there, you definitely remember how long that took. It was tragic. It took like 2 hours to beat that night. But I understand it now. And I almost want to put this above FNAF 1, but I don't think I can. And that's purely because of Fredbear's Night. I really like FNAF 6. I really like Night 6 on FNAF 4 because it merges the previous gameplay with Fredbear. What I would have loved is if Night 5 was half the previous gameplay with, you know, Bonnie, Chica, Foxy, Freddy, until 3 a.m. Then when 3 a.m. hit, it's Fredbear. That would have been way more balanced in my opinion. I'm not a fan of a full night of Fredbear. I don't like it. I'm not a very big fan. So that singular thing damages it just a bit. But it's still going in great because I have an amazing time with this game. I love the Fredbear mechanic. I just don't like that it's a full night. That's it. But yeah. Sound design is awesome. It's great. It's the best sound design. And it's like, probably objectively, it's probably the best sound design. In FNAF 1, the footsteps, they're not very reliable. You can hear like 7 footsteps until they actually end up at your door. That's not reliable. On FNAF 4, however, footsteps usually mean the same thing every time. When you hear footsteps on your right or left side, usually somebody is coming. Either they're in the hallway or they're by your door. That's pretty much a given. And when you listen for the breathing, as soon as you shut the door, you hear footsteps leaving. That's your indication to open the door and get out of there. That's really good. I like how fast they leave the door. I like how audible their footsteps are. It is less of a visual game and more of an auditory game. And I think that's really good. Scott. Scott was the only one who did these first 6 games. Scott nailed it. I really like it, and I think if FNAF 1 had a slightly better sound design in terms of, like, letting you know where stuff was, that would help it just a tad, but I'm not going to complain about FNAF 1. It's iconic. It was Scott's final choice, or his final option. If it didn't succeed, he wouldn't be making games anymore. Scott did a fantastic job in FNAF 1. He is outstanding. He is unbelievably outstanding, and FNAF 1 is outstanding, so I can't sit here and judge the sound design, but Scott really, really nailed the sound design in FNAF 4. He really did, and it's almost... Man, am I gonna put it above FNAF 1? I don't know. It's hard, because I'm gonna probably find myself playing FNAF 4 more than FNAF 1 now. I'm gonna keep it here for now. Sister location. Now, I made a short about this recently. Like, I say recently, like a few minutes ago before I started this. But I always put sister location in mid. For 10 years straight, I was never a massive fan of it. And I liked the fact that it did a deviation from the previous meta. You know, it wasn't just a click and swipe. I like the fact that it was task-based. I feel like the tasks could have been a bit better. I'm not a huge fan of them. I think a lot of them are good, but the thing about sister location is, I've always said this, and my opinion still holds true on this, is the fact that it's not random. Once you figure out sister location, the nights are the exact same every time. There's no differentiation. It's the same. You know, night 1, nothing can kill you. It's like FNAF 3. Night 2, you have to shut the biddy baps out. That's the same every time. You have to keep Funtime Freddy away while you reboot the systems. That's the same every time. You know, night 3, that's going through Funtime Foxy Auditorium. That's the same every time. Bonbon, the same every time. You understand what I mean. Everything is the same every time, except for the code. The baby code is different every time. That's the only thing that's different. That's it. Even the path you take to get to the scooper room is the same every time. So yeah, it's predictable. You know what to do. Once you beat the game once, you can beat it every single time you play it. The tasks could have been more random rather than set. The tonality, I think, is good. The tonality, it grew on me. I was never a massive fan of how the tone was, but I definitely have more of an appreciation for it now. I'm a big fan of the tone. Do I think it's better than the previous 4? I don't think so. But I think the weakest part of the game is probably the animatronics. You really don't get to see much of Funtime Foxy. You only see Funtime Foxy one time in front of your face, not including jump scares. In Funtime Auditorium, when you shoot your plasma blaster, whatever it even is, the beacon, you see Funtime Foxy like moving his head like this for some reason, like dancing, like off to the side or in front of you. That's the only time you see him. You don't get to see him any other time, and that's kind of a shame, because you kind of forget he exists after that. I like that Funtime Freddy actually has a good bit to do with the game, but of course it's still centered on Baby. I always called it Five Nights at Baby's because technically it really is. You know, at least Funtime Freddy has voice lines. You know, Foxy just didn't. Ballora did. That's good. But yeah. Foxy, you didn't get to see him, and he didn't really do much. So he's probably the worst one, honestly. Not design-wise. His design's really good. It's just a shame he was so underused. But yeah, Ballora, creepy design. I'm not a fan of humanoid animatronics, so Ballora's not my favorite, but she was really creepy. Her Ballora auditorium thingy, that was good. The Ballora gallery, that's what it's called. That was good. Kind of slow, kind of annoying sometimes, kind of like I said, slow, but it's not that bad. Funtime Freddy was really cool. I like his voice a lot. His design's pretty good. Bonbon's interesting. I like that he had multiple nights, and that we got to actually see him like in full glory when we did his repair section. That was good. And of course, you know, Baby's the main one. Ennard. We all know about them. But I just feel like the lack of animatronics is evident. Like, it's so task-based that you never really get to see them. And, like, Night 4, we're just in a Springlock suit. We're not even getting to fight against animatronics. We're fighting against mini-Rias. Mini-Rinas? Mini-Rinas. I don't know. It's just, I'm not a massive fan of that, but it's good. It used to be mid for me, but it's not anymore. So, hey, that's character development. And same with, I like the custom night a lot. I'm putting custom night above that. All right, next up is Pizza Sim. All right, I'm gonna sit back for this. Pizza Simulator. I have mixed feelings about this. I always liked it, but after playing this game in succession with the rest, I don't know. Because playing Sister Location, after the first 4 was like a nice break. The first 4, or rather the last 2, 3 and 4 were really chaotic. And the Sister Location was a nice break from it. It was a nice deviation from formula. And that's exactly what it needed for the meta to not get old. The formula was good. It was great. It was nice, but it needed deviation. And that's what Sister Location did. Could it have been better? Yes. But it succeeded. It did well. And that nice break from 4 in succession was nice. Now that I understand the game a lot better than before, I can beat it pretty fast. I don't know how long it took, but it probably took me like 30 minutes to beat. I liked it a lot. I mean, just playing it in succession with the rest of the games, it changed my opinion on it. It really did. For whatever reason, it made me like it more. I enjoyed it more. I had more of a fun time with it. And fun time. I had more of a fun time with it than ever before. And my appreciation grew. I guess when you play all the games in order, things kind of change. And that's definitely the case here. With FNAF 6, I realize more and more how much I don't love the waiting mechanic. Sister Location isn't time-based, it's task-based, and so is FNAF 6. It's not time-based, it's task-based. Different types of tasks. It merges the task thingy from Sister Location with the original meta from the first games, but it changes it to where it's more listening, like FNAF 4, but in a different way. It's waiting. And I don't have the patience for that. The way these nights can drag on and on is... Ooh, I'm not a fan of the way they can drag. Like, when you're doing tasks, it gets old really quick. When you're doing tasks, and basically when you have like 3 animatronics in your location, the sound thingy and the motion detection becomes useless. What you have to do is you have to do a task, turn off your fan, swipe off to a vent, and listen for stuff. That gets old really quick. Because once you are done, you have to go back to your thing, start another task, turn your fan on, then turn it back off, and then go to another vent. And if you hear stuff, you have to turn everything off until they're gone. Turn everything back on, start a task. That can get old really quick for me. And the waiting, it's not my type of thing. So I'm not a big fan of that mechanic. I really like the gameplay, but the waiting is just, it really knocks it down for me. It definitely isn't mid. I love the pizzeria building part of it. It's awesome. And I love the animatronic designs, except for Scrap Trap. Scrap Trap is the worst designed animatronic in all the games. That's a different video. But Funtime Freddy, aka Molten Freddy, aka Innard, looks fantastic. Sounds fantastic. Scrap Baby, best baby design in the games. There's not many to choose from, granted. But it's just awesome. It's so good. Baby is the absolute best in Pizza Sim. But yeah, just the waiting mechanic, it really hurts the game for me. And playing it, being the last game to finish on my list, I didn't have a very fun time playing it. I like it. But the problem was I was playing it to beat it fast, not to actually have fun with it. So I didn't do any of the pizzeria building part. I just speed ran the nights, and I didn't do any of the building. I didn't do any of the salvages. I just did boom, boom, boom to get it done. And obviously that's not fun. So in terms of tonight's gameplay, it wasn't very great because I wasn't doing it right on purpose. But when you're actually playing it, I love the pizza sim aspect. And the nights are fun and chaotic, but the waiting, it damages it. It's gonna go and last for me for these six. Excuse me. Excuse me. Wow, it's late. Whoa. Gotta go to bed. I'm getting tired. And I'm burping. Let me take a big sip of queso water. Dude, look at this absolute unit of a water bottle, bro. The queso jug. Alright. I'm not gonna talk about the other games, but I'm gonna rank them anyway. Security Breach is my favorite. Ruin is good. FNAF World, it's funny that I put that there. And Help Wanted is going like right there. That looks good to me. And that's going in mid. I'm not a fan of Ultimate Custom Night. I don't hate it, but I don't love it. And that's all I got. So yeah, that's kind of an in-depth ranking of the FNAF games, specifically 1 through 6. And it's an analysis of what changed due to tonight's challenge. I think it's an interesting concept as to what happened here. So if you guys liked the video, and if you guys sat through all of this, I commend you. It's probably not easy to sit through all this yapping with no editing, no music, nothing. So if you're here, hey, thank you for sticking around. If you like it, go ahead and like the video, subscribe. I got a ton of FNAF stuff, ton of songs, music coming out, all kinds of stuff you might want to look at. So with that being the case, let me know what you guys think about this ranking. And if you guys like it, go ahead and tell me. If you guys have any opinions on it, go ahead and tell me. If you want to make your own ranking in the comments, go ahead and tell me. Do whatever you need to do. I would love to hear you guys' input on this, what you guys think. With that being said, I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.